Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans. Jake here with a quick editor's note. Because I am a silly dum-dum, I forgot to mention a special musical treat at the end of this episode. Please enjoy MrJWags' take on the musical stylings of Morrissey. Also go check out his YouTube channel, MrJWags, for some awesome sumo videos. We bring him up often on the show because they are, well, they're pretty good. Anyways, enjoy the show. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Jake.
And this is Mak.
I almost said Ryan just because I am so used to him starting these off.
No, we get enough of him on our regular episodes. Just leave him alone.
Do. So yeah, Ryan is not with us because he has a baby, and me and Mak are bored because we don't have anything to do otherwise. So we figured we would learn a little bit about how wrestlers train for sumo, and as a bonus to that, maybe be a little bit less out of shape ourselves.
I make no promises of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between being interested and making promises here. Ryan and I had started a weight loss competition back in the pre-COVID times 1,000 years ago. So I figured it was about time we got something else going again. But without further ado, we brought in our resident friend of the show, sumo expert, Ed from the United States Sumo Federation. Ed, how are you doing?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there, sitting around at home. I don't think we've talked to you during these COVID decades we've been living through. How's it been treating you?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's rough, man. I miss sumo. I miss the regular routines.
Yeah, I imagine that the 6 feet social distancing doesn't really work in a sport where the idea is to be as close as possible to the other person at all times.
Yeah, that's tough in a 15-foot ring. Yeah.
Not a lot of places you can go. But yeah, so we wanted to bring Ed in here and learn a little bit about sumo wrestling fitness. Yeah, I mean, just other motivations we had. For me, I've always had, just in a back that's worse than it should be for my age. So I'm very interested in learning more about how I can strengthen my lower body, my core, and also have it be something that's interesting to me. So sumo sounded perfect for that. And just to generally get in shape. Mak, sounds like you were kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, so other than just generally getting in shape, we've been watching sumo now for quite a few years. We've seen some of the training snippets, and I just want to get a better idea of just how physically demanding this sport can be and all the different exercises. I mean, we see these guys going through these steps day in and day out. Well, how tough is it really? And I think the only way to experience, literally to get an idea of that, is to experience it. So yeah, let's do it.
And we will get nowhere close to the kind of trauma that Ozumo puts on people. But
thank God.
We thought we'd get a little taste from Ed. So Ed, we're going to start this off slow, and we're planning to maybe come back to this every other week or so for a little while, and we'll introduce new exercises here and there. But Ed, why don't you tell us about the first and most basic of sumo exercises, the Shiko?
Yeah, great. First and most basic, and probably the most important exercise you could possibly do in sumo is Shiko. It'll feel a little bit strange at first, and it's not going to feel too good. It's not an exercise that really welcomes you in. But if you stick with it and you keep doing it every single day, you'll really, really see your sumo improve in subtle ways that you wouldn't expect. It's an exercise that works on strength. It works flexibility. It works on your balance. It kind of touches on every aspect of what makes a good sumo wrestler. And so whether you're new to the sport or you've been around a long time, it's probably the most important thing you can do. And it's an exercise you can do every single day, 200 a day. That's sort of the routine for a sumo wrestler.
Whoa. 200 a day?
Yes, and 200 sets, about minutes apart, right?
No, so it's 200 will take you about 20 minutes.
Whoa. What are we getting into here?
It's not as bad as you think. once you get into it, it actually starts to feel kind of good, and you don't feel good on days where you don't do it. But yeah, you got a rough couple of weeks ahead of you. It doesn't welcome you in. It takes a while before it starts feeling good.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're talking like we should be. Our goal here would be that we work towards a level of fitness where we can do 200 in one go. That's what you're talking about, right? Just like one set.
That's the goal. One set every day.
Oh, okay. Well,
My legs are cramping just thinking about this. So when you do a Shiko, what muscles are being targeted? Is it the calves? Is it the quads? Is it the thighs? Or is it the whole leg?
You get a little bit of everything. I'd say probably mostly it's a big posterior chain exercise. So a lot of stretching there, a lot of that eccentric movement there. But really, it's the whole leg. It works everything. I mean, it just gets your whole body, your back, everything into that sort of perfect sumo position, and helps you work on all the skills you need.
so yeah, before we talk too much about the mechanics of this, being an audio medium, we can't exactly show you a great example of this. But Ed, I believe you've told us the Federation has some resources for learning how to do this and seeing it in action, right?
Yeah, so if you go over to ussumo.org resource dash database, and this is all under the Starting Sumo page. So if you just hunt around on the Starting Sumo page on ussumo.org, you'll find a ton of resources. And probably the best one for learning Shiko comes out from Takeshi Amitani at Amita Sumo Dojo. He's got a bunch of resources there on different sumo exercises, but the first video he posted is about Shiko. So anyone who's listening to this and looking to get started, I'd recommend checking that out so you can kind of see how the exercise looks and how it's done.
It looks like you can search for Sumo Training #1. That's the specific video we're talking about. But yeah, Amita Sumo Channel is the name of their YouTube channel. They got a whole list here, it looks like. So a lot of stuff that we won't be getting into yet. We're just going to be starting with Shiko.
I should mention too, in that video, I think Takeshi mentions doing 1,000 a day. Now, I'm not going to recommend that to you guys, but that's another level of training you might get to.
Oh, buddy. Okay. Yeah. So in the lead up to this, yeah, just for context, for somebody that hasn't tried, I'm certainly not an athlete, but I'm not like completely out of shape. I got tired, and I wasn't trying like to absolutely push myself and wear myself to the bone on my first attempt, but I got like 25 to 30 of what I call Shiko, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a ride. So we got a long ways to go.
I'm starting from zero. I haven't tried any of these. My technique is going to be absolutely horrible.
Oh, I'm sure mine is too, but I'm just saying, like, this is part of the reason that this is terrifying to me, hearing this 200 number out of the blue. I already gave it
Jake. We can do this. I'm not afraid. I know we are going to be in so much pain, and we're going to be crawling around on the floor, but we can do this.
Yes. And if like a half to 3/4 ass attempt gets me to like 30, then 200 is going to be a whole thing. So Ed, so 200. I mean, we got this magic number to keep in mind here. 200 in a set. Is this like your daily routine, or is this something that you'd recommend to us as beginners?
No, that's my daily routine too. I think that's sort of the basic routine for anyone who takes sumo seriously. So whether you're new or you've been around a long time, I'd recommend that to anyone. There's nothing wrong with doing more than 200, and once in a while I'll do 300-400 in a day. But never really more than that. I'm not going for it with 1,000 a day or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. So yeah, I think for me and Mac, we'll have to kind of play it by ear, see how many we can do to start with, and try and do a little more the next day and the day after that.
I think that's the goal, man. I would start with 50. Start with 50. That's a pretty good starting point, I think, for most people.
All right.
And keep moving from there. The most important thing really is form. So doing 50 with good form is a lot better than doing 200 with bad form.
Got it. Yeah, we again, being an audio medium, we can't exactly post progress updates and stuff like that all that often, but Mac, what do you say we commit to putting some stuff on Instagram as we get a little better?
do you think our listeners would like to hear us screaming in agony? Is that what you want?
Well, it's Instagram.
like
I can put like snazzy music.
Oh, thanks, Ed. No, I'm all for this. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, that'll be fun. So the other thing I wanted to ask about, since we're not doing this specifically to get better at sumo, even though like that's generally the goal for you and your teammates and all that, what other kind of we'll introduce sumo specific exercises as this series goes on, but what are some other exercises you'd recommend, like of basic weightlifting or body weight type exercises or stuff like that?
Well, I'm a big fan of explosive type movements. Like anyone who's played football probably knows that the biggest hitter on the team is often not the biggest lifter on the team, right? There's that kind of slow grinding strength, and that's useful to sumo. And you see guys like Tochinoshin with that kind of power, but I think it's much more important to be able to move weight quickly. So whatever routine you're doing, keeping up the bar speed, I think is really important. I really like kettlebells and those ballistic type movements. I like running up hills and jump training. I'm actually working on my vertical quite a bit. So that type of explosive training, I think is really important for sumo.
Awesome. What just so I can balance it out a little bit on the days where my legs refuse to turn into solids again. Um, any recommendations for upper body workout?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. If you have gymnastics rings, I actually have some right behind me here. I guess this is an audio thing; no one can hear, no one can see. But I actually have some gymnastics rings. I'm a big fan of that because I like the whole sort of core stability they present. But beyond that, just your basic push-ups, pull-ups, or if you have weights, bench press and rows and those kinds of things. I think that's a pretty good place to get started. But again, the most important thing is don't just focus on moving as much weight as you can. Focus on that explosive strength. Keep the bar speed up. I'd rather see you lift a little bit less weight with a little bit more speed. I think that's going to carry over a lot better to our sport than just grinding it out.
Awesome. I will I think this first session, Mac, we'll probably be testing it a little bit and seeing what we can do regularly to we're not going to necessarily start up with a written routine that we're going to follow specifically to the rep or anything like that. But
I don't know about that. How about we actually give that a try? Let's do no. I'm serious. Let's try push-ups, some verticals, and then maybe some Shiko. See how we do.
Okay. So yeah, like Ed said, why don't we prioritize Shiko? Do as many as you can in one go.
Shiko first.
And then after that, we'll work on some vertical training. That makes a lot of sense. I bet that helps with your Tachi eye, right, Ed?
Yeah, that's great. And on the next, next time we talk, I can give you some specific vertical jump training that I like to do, some specific ideas. But I think that helps a lot with Hitachi. I think that helps a lot with really all aspects of sumo. If you're good at moving your own body, you're going to be good at moving your opponent's body. I think that's a lot more important. At least to me, it's a lot more important than picking up heavy weight and moving it around slowly.
Sure. Yeah, Mac, let's if we work out some specifics, we can definitely post that on social media as, a way for us to stay committed to ourselves by making it public and all that. But
yeah, if we're gonna punish ourselves, let's do a full body punishment. I mean, focus Shiko, but let's do a full body punishment. Let's just be in sheer agony. I want this.
I love it. All right. Well, yeah, why don't we we'll work out some specifics and get that on social media and stuff like that. But as with any fitness routine, remember to do your stretching, and we'll touch base on sumo specific stretching. But I mean, for the time being, Ed, do you think it's safe to just say stretch the muscles you're using, and that's a good start?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find that Shiko is quite a bit of a stretch. So it's a little bit of a workout for your muscles, but it's a lot of stretch as well. So you'll see, really important, in the bottom of that Shiko, every time you get down, you really want to open your hips and make sure you're stretching that groin area. And then at the very top, you really want to lean into it. Make sure you're stretching the whole posterior chain. So you're going to see it's going to really help your flexibility, just that move alone.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, that's from the U.S. Sumo Federation's website. There's the starting sumo page. with the sub page about learn about sumo, and that's got all sorts of resources. But that YouTube playlist from Amita Sumo channel, that's got all the videos that's gonna help you with the specifics. So that's what I'll be watching a few times, and then hopefully we can get that 50 Shiko, because I know Ed believes in us more than I believe in us.
Ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But Ed is here for us, and we'll thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk with you again in a couple weeks, and we'll continue to mold us into Iowa's greatest almost sumo wrestlers.
Looking forward to it. Maybe you guys will come out and compete at the end of this.
Someday I will consider it.
Actually, I think it kind of sounds fun, Jake. Actually, let's talk about this.
I am so far from committing to that.
No.
Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah, thanks again, Ed. And we will be posting these regularly. We'll have updates on Twitter, Instagram, and all that if anything changes, but you can expect one every 2-3 weeks or so, and we'll add a little bit more sumo-specific workout to it each time. If you like this podcast, leave us a review and all that crap that Ryan always says that I can't remember. We got Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz. And because I didn't put
Gmail, we got all kinds of things. Jake, you're ruining the outro. You're ruining it.
I didn't copy and paste that bit into this specific outline. And as you know, if I don't write it down, I can't. I'm Ron Burgundy, okay?
You're Ron Burgundying so hard right now.
Just say the phone number for the voicemail and we'll call it a day.
Okay, fine. I didn't write it down either. Oh, crap. Oh, wait, no, I got it. 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO. Ha, I got it.
All right, attaboy. Thanks again, Ed. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
We will need it.
I'm strolling down the Hanamichi. I'm not sad, I throw you freely.
Clouds of rain, clouds of loss, make a fist, throw the salt, hurricane, slapped across. All my love is all your fault, showing up when it's time to fight. Must we dance or must we die? Showdown at the firelight, you didn't make me cry.
The salt gun